Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Are
I got my,
you
I,
ready?
I'm ready. I got my drinks and got my snackies. I'm ready for movie time.
Do you have your popcorn?
I already ate all the popcorn.
Yeah, and that's a whole other problem, but we'll go across that bridge when we get there.
I like popcorn. Shut up.
Anyway, hello and welcome to the Kino Korner, where we talk about the very best in movies, news, and trailers from a certain point of view. I'm your host, the Kaiju Kid. Joining me today is Gryphon.
Oh, yeah. It's spooky time.
It's a spooky month. Yes, that's right. These next two episodes are really good. We're gonna try to hammer home the spooky theme. The themes are, of course, determined randomly, and we'll get to all the potential is for next time later when we do the wheel. But if you were there last time, or as you could see at the bottom right corner if you're watching this, the theme of the day is the Ghostbusters. Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters. Bustin', 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 bustin'.
Bustin does make me feel good.
Hell yeah.
I
That
uh
video is so stupid and I love it.
I guess we will talk about the Ghostbusters. We're talking about the live action movies. We're going to touch a little bit about the other stuff, but mostly we're going to focus is the live action movies. So Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, 2016 Ghostbusters. Technically, I'm going to leave that to Gryphon, and then Ghostbusters Afterlife and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Yeah, just to kind of the history of these live action movies and talk about which ones are our favorites, yada yada, etc., etc., etc. But before then, as is usual, we have to get through a few bits of other things with a preamble. So first, might as well get started with some movie news going on here. It's been a kind of a slow week, and most of the things we have announcement are just either surprises or updates of existing stories. Um, well, I guess for no time to start, like no time like the present. The first bit of news, I guess to get this out of the way, would be that the Social Network is getting a kind of sequel.
Okay.
So it's technically yes, it's a sequel to the Social Network, but it's called the Social Reckoning, and it takes place like it was like 20 years after, and it has to do not with Mark Zuckerberg and the creation of Facebook and that whole lawsuit because I don't know, but y'all like I actually really like the Social Network. I thought it was a very fascinating movie, but this is about people who there's another story in the world of social media that I'm not 100% clear on the details and what goes on in the legal bullshit. Basically, these low-level grunts trying to do one thing would end up uncovering some shady business practices in the corporate heart of Facebook and social media, and thus the social reckoning is upon us. And
The Reckoning.
the reckoning is upon us. We have a few notable actors like Bill Burr and the actor who's he played in the Bear. I can't think of his name. I keep wanting to say it's the guy who played the thing, but it's not him. Jeremy Allen White, that's who it is. Jeremy Allen White. We don't know for sure who he's playing. I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing like a
You know what?
oh
I'm actually
here
on IMDb right now,
yep, I see the
and it
name
says
Jeff Horwitz. Yeah. Yeah, and he's in another upcoming thing, which we would totally be talking about later, but we'll get to that when we get to trailers. Um, we don't have much about the social reckoning. Uh, honestly, just the fact that it's happening and just a whole bunch of these like dramatic actors and Bill Burr are kind of part of it. Oh, that's who's really that guy's playing Mark. So what did this guy do? Jeremy Strong is playing Mark Zuckerberg. They're not getting Jesse Eisenberg. Well, I guess you know what? That's fair because like the guy hasn't aged in 20 years. But then again, neither has
They
Mark
can
Zuckerberg.
ILM his face a little bit.
That would make him look
Ma-
closer to
Make
Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg's a freaking lizard robot. We all know it.
yeah.
I don't know. There's a. I don't want to be that guy, but I look at the face of Jeremy Strong. I don't see a Mark Zuckerberg type, and I know this is going to sound weird. I see a Steve Jobs. Like,
Now you know what? I kind of see it.
yeah, like shave his head, give him glasses. Like, he could play Steve Jobs in the biopic. Like this, I'm looking at like the different clips of him. Like, look at the clips of him just leaning back in a chair and smiling. Freeze frame it, put glasses on him, and completely shave his head. Like that's yeah, it looks like Steve
Mm.
Jobs.
Then again, he does have kind of a tall, narrow face like Zuckerberg.
Oh yeah, no, I totally get
So they
why
could
they casted him.
so they could probably do something with that.
Yeah, I guess it's just gonna be so weird to see because it's technically a sequel, but like they have a completely different actor who's aged so much more than Jesse Eisenberg, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't know. It's gonna be a little jarring. Like I want to again. I really liked the first one. It's not one of my favorite movies of all time, but for context, I liked the movie enough to do a report on it when they gave us free reign to do a list of movies in our film appreciation class, and so, and I so I've had to rewatch a lot of stuff and learn about it, and had this appreciation for the Social Network, and of all things, the music is something you do not think about with the Social Network.
You know, aside from the pop songs that they played, I don't even remember what kind of music was playing.
Well, that's kind of the point. Is most of the music is like think of the scenes in the chorus and like they weren't really songs, but they're like the score in the background was just more like these single like ding oh, like these ominous soft ominous chimes in the background to indicate that something dramatic and tense is happening.
The Junkie XL approach.
Yeah, the Junkie XL, but it kind of worked with the Social Network because like it it has this elevated sense of like at the end of the day it's just a bunch of nerds arguing in a courtroom, but it, it has this self-important feel that fits the creation of Facebook, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
um, but without getting too distracted, honestly this news and all these actors being part of it just came as a bit of a surprise. I'm excited to oh no, I wouldn't say excited. I'm
Interesting.
interested. Yeah, I'm interested to see what is going on here. Just because I did like the first one, but this is like the Ghost of Yotei approach because I've been playing that game recently. But it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a sequel, but it's gonna be like 20 years later, so we don't have to do the same actors or the same anything or reference the first one really. Like, really? Okay, neat. Like, that's it's kind of where I'm at there. It's just it, but on the upswing, like part of me, it's like, oh, you could do a sequel, but what sequel could you do to the Social Network? We all know what happened after the fact. He paid the settlement and went about his merry fucking way. I guess I'm more interested and confused because there's a sequel at all. I mean, yeah, there's another court case. There's another like scandalous story to be told. It's just this one I'm not familiar enough about to say if it's worth it. So it's like, oh, we'll see. What do you think?
Yeah, we shall wait and see.
Yeah. Now the next piece of news to talk about is our boy Tom Holland. So I know that he's got a concussion during the filming of Brand New Day. I know at least part of the reason was because they actually were doing some wire working and trying to simulate like actual web slinging, and he took some time off of filming after the fact. And the newest update to that is after visiting the hospital, getting that like good Hollywood care, he's back on set. He's doing good. But there's a little bit of extra spice to this story you mentioned.
Yeah, so you know how the news likes to exaggerate things to a big degree?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that going on here. And the source we have for this is Tom Holland's own father. In
Okay.
fact, according to him, none of this actually happened while filming Spider-Man. There there
Really?
there was no there was no ambulance involved at all. It was just Tom was at this charity quiz event thing and he started feeling all head hurty to the fact where he was getting a mild concussion. And that's not something you can just walk off. So, yeah, he had to go get some care.
So this was probably just long term. This could have been related to everything doing Spider-Man, but it's unclear.
Right,
But the important news though is that he's healthy and he's ready.
right. By all accounts, he is continuing to make a full recovery and expected to return to filming soon.
Yeah. Like so, the fun thing about concussions, like they don't just happen. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy nut. Well, they can delay and like you could experience the effects later, like randomly when you're doing other stuff. But the initial cause would have to come from something like usually related to physical trauma, stress, or something like that. And that's why I don't think it was deliberate like negligence on the part of the crew, but I would not be surprised at all, and I'm almost expecting it to be the case that working on like all the Marvel stuffs like Spider-Man, Doomsday, etc., may have just put so much of a workload on him, and he just maybe strained himself during a shoot, and he just kind of tried to walk it off, and it just kind of caught up to him during this event. I would not be surprised at all if that is exactly what happened.
Probably.
So it's not so there's no immediate negligence. It's just I don't think anyone's at fault. It's just kind of one of those things, and maybe now Disney and Hollywood they won't, but maybe now Disney and Hollywood get the hint that hey, when this guy's done filming these three movies, y'all have him for Brand New Day, Avengers Doomsday, and Avengers Secret War. Uh, Maybe let him chill because remember he's also filming stuff for like the Odyssey and all this other stuff.
Yeah. And in fact, if I remember correctly, I think he's just been signed on to do another movie.
Oh, is it a Spider-Man?
No, no, not Spider-Man. This is a whole different project. Some thriller called The Partner with Jason Bateman.
With Jason Bateman? Oh god, that's gonna be something. Yeah. But no, all accounts, he's okay. He's back filming. There's currently a rumor that we're gonna see trailers for Doomsday on December, tied to Avatar: Fire and Ash,
I
probably,
will be there
which probably it's like we'll probably see get brand new day trailers.
sometime after
Eh,
ish.
I'm trying to think if Super Bowl would be a reasonable time frame because they are in the heat of production right now.
Oh, hold on.
Maybe a teaser.
Uh, I don't know.
Uh,
Super Bowl usually comes out around this time.
well,
No,
Super Bowl is like
because
February.
okay, so I mean maybe a teaser,
Uh,
given the fact that the movie's supposed to come out in July of next year.
I could see a D23 or E3 trailer more than before anything else.
That that sounds likely.
Like as we, I don't know, but that's all speculation. I think with when Doomsday is said to come out, assuming there's going to be a trailer before the end of the year is reasonable enough. But as far as a brand new day trailer, I don't know. I think they're gonna at least wait till, depending on how this ties to everything. They think the trailer for that might not come out until after Avengers Doomsday. Same with stuff for Vision Quest because that's still happening in the background. But time will tell. I'm glad he's okay. But
I
yeah,
am too.
next piece of news, and actually last piece of news. This is the news that made me go like, okay, is there's going to be a
Okay.
new Simpsons movie.
The Simpsons
I don't want to sound cynical,
again.
but like when I see there's another Simpsons movie, my thought is like, okay, well, are you actually going to let the series rest now?
No.
I know they're not. They should, but they're not. It's because no other adult animation captures as well as The Simpsons, but even then it's questionable, and no one wants to like let things exist in their own little microcosm. Apparently, there was one called The Great White North or something, or I don't fucking know. It's from the same people who did Bob's Burgers, so it has that weird kind of stringy blob like character design. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's basically like a family in the Great White North. I don't know if they're in like Canada, Alaska, or fuck. But um, and that apparently just got canceled, so it's only gonna get like it's 2 seasons or something. I don't fucking know. Family Guy is still going on. American Dad, I don't even know if that's continuing. But Futurama got another season. Like there's a lot of adult, like air quote adult animation. Heavy air quotes. And I know we all know King of the Hill got its revival.
Yes.
Here, here's the thing. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere anytime soon because now it's got that Disney money and Disney's gonna milk it for everything it's worth because that's what Disney do. And they really shouldn't. Like they want to. Honestly, if I were an exec at Disney or Fox or whoever doing this shit now, just take The Simpsons. Say, hey, the Simpsons movie 2 is going to be the finale of this season and potentially the end of the series. We're going to take a break after it. I know that's kind of what they did for the first movie, but yeah. But everyone thought like, no, that's not an ending to The Simpsons. Nah. But now, here's the thing: Simpsons adheres to a strange continuity with its characters that's very respectable. So like if a character in The Simpsons dies, they're gone. And recently, because of like age of the actor, uh, changing of times of the sensibilities, or just fun little writing decisions, a lot of characters just aren't there anymore. It is a dwindling cast. Apparently, there's been some growth recently, but my thought is like, end it on a high. We got so many seasons of The Simpsons. You
Hmm.
can afford to run reruns for decades, like how Spike TV does with American Dad.
At least, yeah, really don't know.
Uh, but it's going to come out in 2027, so we'll see.
Hmm.
We don't know. Like, that's another thing is there's a plan in place for this. I just wish I knew what that plan was. I'm
Yeah, just all we got so far is an announcement.
announcement, and it's going to come out in 2027. So we got at least a year and a half before we get to see what this is. So hey, maybe they are working towards a. Actually, when did the Simpsons? I'm gonna look at something.
Mm,
Simpsons premiere.
1989.
Yeah, December 17th, 1989.
Damn.
Yeah, like they could be go. They could. This could be like the start of like a plan to. Okay, this is gonna sound out there. What if they're planning two more movies? The Simpsons movie two in 2027, and the third Simpsons movie released in December of 2029. So The Simpsons has a solid 40-year run, ending with the third movie.
That would not be a bad way to go out at all.
Plus, like it's I think it agrees we do right now because if you plan now, start filming now, you have one movie coming out 2027, whenever that is, and then you got a 2-year gap for the second movie. So to start playing now, I'm pretty sure you can get all that filming and stuff done. I don't know. I,
Well, while you still got your actors.
right, you still have your actors. Again, look, I like The Simpsons. I'm I'm just trying to be realistic about this.
I understand. That's kind of how a lot of Simpsons fans are, at least to my knowledge. They're like the show, but they're like, Can we maybe take a break or just go out on a high note?"
Honestly, like again, just like with all these other adult shows I like American Dad and Futurama especially, there's so much of it that like if they just stopped at the 40-year mark, that's like what 20 something seasons,
We are currently up to 37 seasons.
37 seasons. Jesus. The hell yeah, yeah, they could pace it out. Oh, they are okay. They're gonna have to pace themselves, but they are perfectly set up where they could basically do 40 years, 40 seasons, and 3 movies. And at that point, no one will ever like approach that level of just notoriety in the world of just animated entertainment. No matter how much they want to give Family Guy new seasons for some reason, even though Seth MacFarlane is better at the Orville and American Dad.
And singing.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Family Guy is a weird edge case where if you like, you think early, if people say early Simpsons is better than the current Simpsons, early,
To an extent.
yeah, like so I think there early Family Guy is a much different creature to current Family Guy. Like
Oh no, I definitely see that.
early Family Guy, I think was still silly enough. It's still like enough of Seth MacFarlane's own thing where you could just say like, I like this or whatever. It's just kind of is what it is. But now it's just it feels like it's trying to be The Simpsons, and it's lost sight of its own thing. Like the height, I hate to say it, but the height of Family Guy was like after like a few years when they were got it built up their own thing and started getting like Star Wars parodies and whatnot. I think that was like the peak of Family Guy. Then they could kind of like just we have these characters, let's have fun with them, and that's also in the Simpsons peak. It's like we have these characters, let's have fun with them. But I don't know. Simpsons movie 2, 2027. Who knows what this means? This could be the sign of the Simpsons is never going away. This could be the sign that maybe things are ending. Who knows?
If it looks good, I'll go see it.
Same. Yeah. But I think after that, it'll be time to talk about the trailers. Are you ready to talk about the trailers?
Le trailers.
The trailers.
Oh,
So
yes.
the first one's not less of a trailer, more of like a proof of concept of Jenny Tartakovsky's next project, which has been greenlit or is awaiting to be greenlit. I forget exactly which. It's The Black Knight, and all I can say from that thing is I want it.
It does what any cool teaser trailer should do. Show cool shit. Make people interested.
Giant knight with big ass sword fighting samurai chick who's small enough to literally hide behind the sword. It's
Yeah, no, I love that part of the teaser when he turns the sword and you can just tell he's going like, really? But yes, would love more, please.
Gendy, or is it Gendy or Gendy? But I think Gendy. It is Gendy.
Gendy.
Gendy Tartakovsky is very good at just making these really cool designs, but also visual storytelling. And you get a lot from the teaser about like this guy is just this Black Knight. It may not be where he is meant to be, but he's gonna fight like hell, and he is just a menace to everyone around him. I don't know.
Okay. I'm looking at the picture and I know the black part is supposed to be like the visor he sees out of, but I can't help but notice like this
Smile.
overly happy face.
Yeah, no, that's why I got that picture. It's a smiley face. It's just, I'm gonna kill you with my sword here.
Prepare to die.
But that's good. Not much to say about this one. It's again a Tartakovsky animation. If you like Clone Wars, if you like Primal, if you like Samurai Jack, it's getting Tartakovsky. Going to be cool. Well, but the next trailer kind of threw me for a loop. I still don't know what to think about the bride.
Uh, it looks like some kind of Thelma and Louise, Bonnie and Clyde setup, but with Frankenstein's monsters.
Yeah. Also, look at oh god, what's the actor's name? Fucking Christian Bale as Frankenstein. As Frankenstein's monster. Just it's like, wow, yeah, they went ham on that makeup, didn't they?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, but mm,
You know, Christian Bale as the monster. It sounds like one of those choices where you're like, not my first choice, but he's got some pretty impressive range. So let's see where
well,
this goes.
no, he could do it. Like that. I'm not. Look, as far as the actors they chose, I think they got the right actors. It's more of just a tone and timing thing. Kind of throwing me for a big loop here. I don't know if this is a movie that I would go out of my way to see. I think Thelma and Louise, but Frankenstein's monster seems to be an accurate way to describe it, with a heavier emphasis on, well, the titular, the bride.
Frankly, I'm surprised that this isn't a Universal production.
Right? Universal doesn't know what to do with their stuff, man.
No,
So much
but
stuff is. I think they've given up because a lot of things, like, we're now in an era where a lot of these old properties are like entering the public domain, and there's nothing they could do about it.
so they just let other people do what they want with them.
Yeah,
Hence, we're getting this.
exactly. Like, I think the Dark Universe is Universal's last chance to secure versions of the characters, but they completely failed because they missed the mark on what makes them cool. Even though in my personal opinion, they should have built off of Dracula Untold.
Should have.
I've seen a few reviewers saying that, yeah, but it's kind of a bad movie. It's like, no, no, it's not. It's cool.
No, it's not a bad movie at all.
You get to see a horde of bats form a fist and go, well, bam. It's Dracula, but a superhero movie, but he's the bad guy.
But they try to make him a good guy, even though he's still kind of a bad guy.
He's more of an anti-hero at best. Like, you're meant to empathize with him, but he's not the good guy. Like, and but it more importantly, it set up that background, like, vampire that could potentially be just Nosferatu's type, or, well, or potentially just the actual devil, and setting up as this big bad that kind of set up all this bad stuff in this universe. Like, maybe he said it loosed the werewolf curse, or he released the mummy, or something. They could have done a lot, and but they didn't. They're just like,
Mm,
no, we gotta have Tom Cruise fight a female mummy, and then we gotta do Bride of Frankenstein. Except we're gonna do Bride of Frankenstein because all of our other attempts bomb so hard because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. But
I definitely felt that nerve pinch.
uh,
But actually, going back to this movie, I kind of really like this trailer a lot.
oh yeah, no,
It
this is capitalizing on just the monster hype right now. Like, especially with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Um, I worry that this is going to be more, because this is going to get a theatrical release. It seems. I worry that this is going to be more prominent in the zeitgeist than Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, and kind of shift the perspective. And this combined with Creature Commandos might twist the Frankenstein story, at least how we want it to be told. And I don't know how I feel about that.
well, Netflix certainly isn't helping things with their limited theatrical window.
Yeah, yeah, it's good that it's coming to theaters, but this is more of like a general audience. This isn't a Netflix problem, really, but this is more of a general audience suck thing. And whoever did the marketing for the Bride clearly is playing 5D chess here, and just had decided to just squeeze that in the theaters right before Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, and just like, or not before, this is after it.
Yeah, like I think we're like at least a month away from
Yeah,
Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein,
yeah,
and this is coming out in March of next year.
yeah. Okay. So I think it's when the spook. Okay, then I don't know what's going to happen with this then, because spooky season is when we want to think about this stuff, and then this is coming out. after spooky season.
And
I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you how the general audiences are going to react to this. Like, look, yeah, it's not because it's not a good looking movie. Again, I'm with you. This looks like a good movie. It's more like it. It's like releasing a Christmas movie in August. You know?
oh, that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, but it's similar in tone, though. Like, yes, you could do a Christmas movie in August, and it could be objectively a really good movie, but is that what people want to see at that point? Like, yeah, we're gonna do
No.
a Bride of Frankenstein movie, and it's probably gonna be really good, but yet in March, is that what people want to see? That's why I'm just like, I don't know how people are gonna react to it. But then again, Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein, even though Halloween is done to celebrate them, they're not coded specifically to Halloween. They're just monsters. So it could do really well.
And I hope it does well enough.
Well, I hope it does too, but we shall see. We shall see. The next trailer on the list. Arr! Arlstein's Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, this is outside my area of expertise, so I'm just gonna let you take the wheel on this one.
Do you ever watch the '90s Goosebumps TV show?
Sadly, no.
Oh well, you know recently, of course, they did the Goosebumps movie with Jack Black, and I've heard people describe it as good, but it doesn't have the same tone as like the original Goosebumps TV show, and I kind of get that from the trailer. Like the movies don't look bad; I do want to see them at some point. Uh, but this is just the amount of weirdness and some scary bits. They're like, yeah, no, this feels like an extended episode of the '90s TV show in the best way possible, down to like the weird character effects. Hence the if you're watching this, the screaming face in the pumpkin.
Oh, yeah. It,
Oh,
it,
look at Goofy screaming pumpkin face. Oh, look at the Goofy Scarecrow man. Like, whoa, that kid is actually dying by vines going down his throat and pulling him apart. Oh, but look at the pumpkin. Yeah, like
I mean, yeah, it does look like a good enough horror movie for mostly all audiences.
mostly. They mostly come at night. Mostly. But I don't know what else to say. Like, and actually, I do want to say this is going to be a Tubi original, and that could mean a whole lot of different things. So Tubi is like the no man's land of like film because it,
Yeah.
it's a free service. However, I've heard some of the Tubi originals are could best be described as, huh, that's weirdly not bad. I think part of it is because they're just a free company and they just put all their money on all these like unique projects. The filmmakers involved are able to take more risks. So, excuse me. But so basically, like with and them getting goosebumps of all things, like R.L. Stein, like this isn't just like okay, this is R.L. Stein's Pumpkinhead. But
Yes,
then,
not to be confused with Pumpkinhead.
oh no, that's a whole different movie from the late '80s, early '90s. That is fantastic. But like they actually have an IP to work with this time, so this could be. I have no idea what this is gonna be like. I'm gonna watch it because it's gonna be free on Tubi. By the way, download Tubi. But
To me.
to be. But like the it's the timing of this trailer coming out was also kind of funny. I don't know if you saw it when we were like browsing Hulu and other sites. There's a movie on Hulu called Carved that I got. A part of me wants to watch at some point. Basically, it's just like a pumpkin witnessing its brethren get carved and mutilated, and then getting revenge on the people. That's literally it. Remember when like horror movies and Halloween movies are just like, listen, we know this premise is stupid. Let's just have fun with it.
I mean, didn't we just watch one of those last night?
Hell yeah. Clown in the Cornfield, that was amazing.
It really was.
But we'll talk about that here in a bit. Um, well, I guess the next trailer, I think it's the last trailer to talk about, is probably the one that I'm sure you have a lot to talk about: The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Wow.
I want to see the
Uh,
Buff Hut.
you know I'm seeing this in IMAX.
I want to see the Buff Hut.
I want to see Zeb.
I I want to see a guy just flex and go, oh, 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 protein shake. Like, what about
uh,
all the other cool
uh,
stuff that happens? What about all the cool space battles and the AT-AT on the cliff? I want to see the Buff Hut.
okay. Good to know that Diego Luna is not the only one with a weird hut obsession.
Look, the huts annoy me, actually, if anything, because they're just the weird freaking slugs and Jabba the Hutt's gross. But this trailer is just like, okay, what if we took like these awful characters and made one of them a buff as fuck gladiator? Go on. I
And
I
wait,
just want
wait
to
a
see
minute.
a fight scene with a freaking hut. You know you want to.
I mean, I kind of want to, especially considering this is supposed to be Rota, Jabba the Hutt's son from the Clone Wars cartoon.
Heck yeah.
And go, I said this during the Black Knight, but again, this is how you do a teaser trailer. Show cool shit without any plot, reel the audience in, and once you got them, then you do a trailer with a basic story outline.
Which
But
that
then,
we'll probably get later in the year.
but then again, Star Wars trailers have always excelled at that.
Actually, if anything's gonna get a Super Bowl trailer, it's probably gonna be this.
Yeah.
Because
Also, hey Kaiju, I hear you liked Babu Frick.
oh yeah, I can't wait for
Well,
him to
now,
be back.
well, I don't remember if it's him specifically, but we're gonna see Anzellans regardless.
No, don't care.
Oh,
He looks like Babu Frick, and he's gonna go. Eh. So he's my boy.
okay, baby. Also, Ludwig Göransson cooked with this score.
Someone sounds excited to see Star Wars.
I like Star Wars.
I want to see Grogu choke a bitch.
I
He's
do too.
look, he's training as a Mandalorian. I mean,
This is the way. Yeah, so you can say whatever you want about the Star Wars movies, but let's be real. You're always going to be excited when a new one comes out.
of course I will. Like I said, I want the series to be good, and this looks good.
Looks really good.
Remember, everything negative I say about these things is out of love because I want the series to be better than they are. Well, the better than they have been and handled better, absolutely, than they have been in recent years. But again, also part of that problem is the fans. Like it's just that meme, just like it's like it's like you give them Darth Sidious. I don't want Darth Sidious. Then why did you ask
Did you
for
ask
it?
for it? Or the quit having fun.
Yeah,
But I don't like talking about that, so
I wonder if Boba Fett's gonna be in the movie. And
mm,
okay, now here's the thing: it's half a joke, but also half like I wonder if he'll not in a major role. I wonder if he'll cameo because if the Hutts are involved, then there is a chance that everything that's happened in the book of Boba Fett might at least be referenced.
yeah, okay, I wouldn't mind like having him just make a cameo.
Yeah, that's one of those like cameos that feels possible enough.
Like give Tamora Morrison something to do.
Heck yeah. Well, we shall see when this movie. Yeah, no, this looks exceptionally Star Wars. I can't wait to see. I want to see the Buff Hut jump and just do some of the most acrobatic bullshit ever put on Star Wars cinema, just to throw everyone off. What if
I,
we
I
watched it and that's just started happening? Like he got into a fight with a Jedi, and suddenly the big slug that just kind of waddled on the stage just starts springing around like a freaking madman, and then just RKO's a fucker out of nowhere.
I I saw Attack of the Clones in theaters, and I remember the reaction to the Yoda Dooku fight. The room went wild. I'm just imagining that, but on steroids.
And then when he wins the fight, he just kind of plops down, just goes, oh, oh, oh.
Oh, 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 oh.
Like again, it's not that I'm excited for a hut specifically, but it's such an out there concept that I want to see it done in a fun way.
Understandable.
And I already know some people are just like, "Whoa, there's a buff hut. Let's fucking go." No, that's good. But that aside, though, I'm glad it's getting its own movie. I know some people is like, "Why give it a movie? It already has a series." Like, well, yeah, a lot of things get a series first, but then they get a movie was popular enough. And let's face it, Mandalorian has been very freaking popular. Like there is more story to tell, like with the Mandalorian, and I think going forward, the Mandalorian might be the face of Star Wars for.
Heck, he kind of was when his show debuted.
Yeah, like this is just reinforcing that. Like I think these two, Mandalorian and Grogu, are just the face of Star Wars until we get a bit
At least
like
for a bit.
at least for a bit. But that'll bring us to the end of the trailer talk, and now we're going to talk about new and recent films. As such, as we talk about any new films we may have watched, like high priority anything new we've seen in theaters, but most importantly anything that was new to us or like came out recently that we saw for the first time. And oh boy, do I have things to talk about? Do you have anything that you want to mention, Mr. Griffin?
Well, I haven't really seen any newer films. I've mostly just been watching a bunch of Harryhausen films just so I can do my retrospective that I'm working on.
Hashtag not sponsored. Uh,
I'm not above a little shameless self promotion,
that's why the
but
channel in my Discord is called the Shameless Self Promotion.
I did see one movie that was new to me, but we'll get to it in a bit.
Is it Clown in a Cornfield?
No, that one I'm actually enthusiastic about.
Oh, you're talking about the Ghostbusters. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Uh, but I've been watching a few spooky movies, and there's three that I guess I think are worth talking about. One I'll mention passingly. It's an older movie called Bad Moon. It's a werewolf movie that I've heard people describe it as it's not as good as American Werewolf in London, which what is, but it is a very underrated werewolf movie. And I completely agree, and I'm upset with myself that I didn't watch this sooner. Because the werewolf effects, oh my god. Now, sometimes you could tell this came out in the same era as something like Mighty Joe Young or Congo.
Now, wait a minute. Are we talking like werewolves or big wolves?
Werewolf.
Okay.
Be gone, but no. But basically the story of Bad Moon, it unlike most werewolf movies, there's not a mystery like because you are given very clear hints. The one where the movie almost outright tells you from the beginning, this person went through an ordeal. They are a werewolf. Like they technically don't say it, but they make it so obvious that they might like there's a certain character has a is basically dripping in like red flags and almost has a neon sign over him that says he's a werewolf, idiot. But the audience knows that the intent is to give mystery. The tension comes from the fact that this guy hates that he's a werewolf. He doesn't want to be a werewolf, and the werewolf curse in this movie works differently than anything he potentially thought it would be. He doesn't transform on the full moon. He transforms every night.
Goodness.
And he looked up like different weaknesses, and he kind of does it more serious. You know how in Hotel Transylvania when they're when Johnny was talking to Drac about all the different vampire, he was like, "Well, like what about like a wooden stake through the heart?" Yeah, who wouldn't that kill? Like it's very much treated with that same level of just kind of well, duh. You don't need anything special. Like if you want to kill a werewolf, just shoot it, just blast its brains out with a shotgun. But
It's like silver bullet. Are you saying you wouldn't die to one of those?
right, that's basically like there's ways to take care of it and just deal with it. But he basically is trying to go through everything, and he this is a character that is so broken that he just he's just trying to see if any little or obscure thing can help solve this werewolf curse. It's like maybe the love of my family. Like it's literally where he's at. But the other thing that's interesting about this whole perspective is like, and it kind of fits a different movie, but the perspective of the movie isn't necessarily from him. Like part of it is, but the blunt of the movie's like perspective, like the main characters are the werewolf dude's the sister and her dog. And like this German Shepherd that and this guy like comes in and starts and he's like there's a really interesting scene where like there is a scene of carnage in the forest near where they meet up with the brother, and the dog goes sniffs around while they're chatting, and he's able to put two and two together. It's like, wait a minute, bad scent here, same scent on that guy. I don't like you. So this fiercely loyal dog is basically just guard dogging the shit out of this homestead while this guy is like trying to distance himself as a werewolf. It is a very, very interesting concept.
Okay.
And also, oh my gosh, the main heroine is oh, she's so good. She don't take no lip from nobody.
Damn.
Also, there's like a nightmare sequence at the end that actually freaked me out a little bit, but I don't want to do too much spoilers on that. But Bad Moon, it's on Tubi, it's on Shutter. Worth a watch. It is very good. Underrated is definitely like the while the effects do look dated technically, like you could tell they were like made in the 90s, they're practical effects. The only effect that I think, God, with everything else, how good as it is, there's one effect that I wish was better was the werewolf transformation, and I don't want to spoil why, but you have like this werewolf that looks pretty gnarly, pretty sick, and then you got like the get to see the transformation, and yeah, for a movie that takes itself so seriously, to have a transformation that could best be described as early Goosebumps is kind of off-putting, but
Um, I've written it down. Might check it out.
it's definitely worth it, and 'tis the season. Now, the second thing I watched that you didn't watch was VHS Halloween. Wow, that one was weird. That and I've been on that VHS kick as of late, watching different VHS, basically an anthology, a found footage anthology series, and it you can judge it by movie, and like I do think certain ones are better than the others. Like I do think the two bests are 2 and 99. I think are like the two best. 94 is very good. I don't know if it's solid number three. I think VHS, the first VHS is fine. Viral's hot garbage. Beyond is fun, and VHS Halloween. I think I feel for VHS Halloween the same way I feel about VHS Beyond. There are some segments that I really like. I think on the whole it works, but definitely not the strongest in the series. But it's one of those things. You have to judge it by the through line and the individual stories. I think this one has one of the most confusing through lines, despite it being one of the more directly presented. And the individual stories are such a mixed bag in terms of tone. Oh my god! Like the first one is called Coochie Coo. I know you heard me bugging Lex about that the other day. It's just messed up in every way, shape, and form.
Mm.
The second one, I forget it's like a Latin. I forget what Latin they use, but it roughly translates to "as above, so below." I thought was an amazing horror short. Like, I honestly think it's one of the better ones of the entire show, of the entire series. Um, Basically, in that short, it's a story told in two parts. This guy is like confessing to murders he committed to his friends. Like, I did. Well, can you tell us how? I don't know, but I know I did it. And he's just like, and they're trying to relive past events. They're looking at this footage. Basically, they go into this abandoned church. They go into this room, and there's just a phone there in this really tall room. And they see all this like Latin stuff on the walls. And when the guy reads it, because they're just a bunch of dumb kids, he like the cordless phone just like it's one of those old timey phones, like if it's in like the 50s and stuff, like those like the red phones
Mm.
that like you have the
Yeah.
dial to, yeah. And it just starts ringing. It's like everyone's just like, that shouldn't happen. And most of them are like, we should go, but Dumb McGee is just like, okay, I'm gonna answer it. It's probably just a prank. Ends up getting
Mm.
possessed, and we don't. I'm not gonna say like what happens in the modern day or like what he does to these people, but like there's a mystery on how their bodies got a certain way and what exactly happened, and it explains it very well with just the visuals. It's like you see like, oh, that's why their bodies were like that. That's what he did. That's why certain things happened to his body. Like, oh god. And it's like a tragedy because this guy is like subconsciously aware of what he did, and he's like actively trying to be locked up. Like, please just kill me, put me away, something like he because he doesn't want to hurt anyone else. Like it's a very good horror short. The third one, the candy one. Man, that one's weird. I don't want to go too like hyped about the specific segments, but like they're all range from just really weird to really really good. Some of them may I think each one made me feel a different way. The first one made me feel a little gross. The second one actually made me feel a little bit of terror in a good way. The third one was stupid in the best way possible. The fourth one upset me. I hated how it ended. Like they were
So
they no it was like it was good filmmaking, but they were trying to upset people with the ending. It's just like, oh hey, we're gonna make the worst possible ending for the worst possible person, and like all the good people are gonna just like no,
uh,
no, like it's like the worst outcome, and it's awful. But then the last story, the fourth one, is just a trip, man. Oh my god, it's a trip. Oh, but no, it's a great movie. But now the third one I saw that I know you watched with me, Clown in a Cornfield.
what a movie that was.
You immediately pick up on the tone of the movie when, like, right before the first kill, the clown steps forward, and you just hear that. It, you can't do that movie,
But it did.
but it did, and it also the kills in that movie were like
Oh,
they were most kills in horror movies like they take their time. They do these gratuitous, just like I'm gonna saw through them. Now this one, things happen quick, but like,
especially with a chainsaw.
uh-huh, they're quick, but they're gloriously quick. Like you still get the full view of everything that is happening. You still feel the tension. You still feel the pain. Everything is, oh. Um, I will say this about the movie. I will not spoil it if you know the book, and you probably know already. But either way, I'm not going to spoil exactly what it is. But about halfway through, when certain characters started talking, I immediately picked up on what the tone of the movie was going to be, and I had a good guess on what the twist was going to be. And in most movies, that'd be a bad thing, but Clown in a Cornfield plays it very self-aware. Like it knows that we can figure it out very easily, and we're basically just here for a ride.
Right. It doesn't kill the quote unquote twist.
Right. Like if anything, it's like it was just like, listen, I know the twist, you know the twist. Let's make these villains seem like the worst people ever and have some fun with it.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like it is that's a movie that I might go ahead and get on Blu-ray one day. That was a fun watch. But those are the big three. Like I'll have more next time. I plan on watching a whole bunch of spooky season movies. Maybe get some new ones for the next episode of the podcast. I still want to see Good Boy in theaters. But is there any other movies that you've seen that are new to you recently?
Hmm. Actually, there was one other movie I watched recently. It's Westworld.
Oh yeah, the old one.
Yeah, the old one.
Oh, how is that?
Uh, I would say it's pretty good. It kind of well, it'll probably end a lot sooner than you realize. It's a very short movie.
I see. How short we talking?
I have the case right here. Let's 88 minutes. So like roughly an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
When most movies were an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Going up on the wheel that shouldn't. That's okay. Hold up. There we go.
Did you break the wheel already?
No, not the wheel. It's just that I need to resize the screen because I'm noticing little flashes while I'm messing with background stuff. But that's all right. Well, yes. The Westworld is good. Yes.
It's worth a watch.
Excellent. No. Well, we're not here to talk about Westworld. We're here to talk about who we're gonna call.
When there's something strange in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's not He-Man, for the record.
I want to call He-Man though.
Later.
But that's SoMoneySupermarket.com.
What?
You never seen the MoneySupermarket.com commercials with He-Man and Skeletor? And they're like dancing to I had the time of my life.
No.
And then He-Man goes, you'll so MoneySupermarket.com. And Skeletor just looks at the camera with sunglasses. Yeah. Also, they get like a really buff guy with a faux bodysuit to play He-Man, and he somehow looks like an accurate and perfect representation of live-action He-Man. And then that makes me wonder, why couldn't we do this in the fucking 90s? God damn.
Okay, this sounds like something you're just making up.
No, I'm not.
But it,
I'm
and
gonna
I
link it.
hate it.
I'm gonna link it to you. I swear I linked it to you before. I'm gonna link it to you after this is done, and you're gonna watch it, and you're gonna like. It is. You're gonna see He-Man and Skeletor dance, but we'll worry about that later. For now, let's talk about Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
I'm gonna put the He-Man Money Supermarket thing on the playlist for this one. Anyway, but
God damn it.
yes, Ghostbusters. Uh, so I wanted to restrict this somewhat to just the movies. Like, so first Ghostbusters, like the early one with Danny Aykroyd and all them. We got
Mm-hmm.
Ghostbusters 2. Um, a brief mention of the unofficial Ghostbusters 3, which is the video game. Then Ghostbusters 2016, which you're going to have more knowledge than I about that. You sound excited. And then Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Yeah. So I guess we'll start from the beginning. What did you think of the original Ghostbusters?
I love the original Ghostbusters.
You
I
like?
know it's not typically a Halloween film, but I consider it a Halloween staple.
Oh, it absolutely is. I try to watch it every October because I got that on Steelbook.
Lucky bastard.
I got Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 on Steelbook. What's up? What's up? Don't hate me because
But
I'm beautiful.
but anyway, Ghostbusters. It's a classic for a reason. Great performances, great comedy, good special effects. Don't at me.
It's the okay. It's the 80s. Okay,
I
it,
know, but people are gonna have some views on that, and I'm just like, what do you want them to do?
it's modern kids, dude. Everyone from it's been exposed to modern movies are gonna look at anything from the 80s and they're like, oh god, look at how bad the effects are because they're fucking spoiled. General audiences suck. Like that's just how it is. You have to look at everything in context. Let I mean, you know Godzilla, like you know this context. You know that if you look back on the 1954 movie and you have the scene where Godzilla's like eating the train and driving through town, all the power lines, and there's a scene where like the hand puppet just kind of like twists the head and moves down and has a derpy face to him. It looks kind of goofy. Like we know it, but it doesn't mean it's a bad effect because you think of it like realize like yeah that was made in the 50s when they didn't have as much that we had now, nowhere near, and they did the best that they could with what they had. And honestly, with Ghostbusters, they did a lot with very little. So if like one or two effects look a bit off, that's fine because so many other effects look amazing.
But then again, it does sort of add to the ghostly apparition feel to it.
Yeah,
Like it this isn't supposed to look natural.
right. They're supposed to move. Well, better way to put it, unnaturally. They're supposed to move weird, like Slimer. Like he looks like a weird ghostly puppet because
He is a puppet.
yeah.
Oh, Slimer.
How did you become the mascot of this freaking franchise?
Uh,
How did it how did he get
I
so prominent? That's such a the more I rewatch
I
the first one, the more I'm confused. Like, really? Slimer? We're not gonna like latch on to the freaking the dogs?
now don't uh take this as an absolute fact, but I think part of it has to do with the fact that Slimer was mostly based on the actor John Belushi,
Mm, probably.
and given how popular he was, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that thought process. I could see them just like this guy's based off John Belushi. John Belushi is popular. Let's
John
go.
Belushi was our friend. You want to know another great thing about Ghostbusters?
What's that?
A lot, a lot of people, when they think of Ghostbusters, they think, "Oh, it's a comedy." Well, yeah, it is really funny, but it's also really kind of scary at times.
Yeah,
Like those those terror dogs will always haunt my nightmares.
freaking library ghost man. That freaking library ghost man. I'm telling you.
Get her.
Yeah. No, like the library ghost sticks with me. The ghost sticks. The dog stick with me. The the freaking the fridge.
The the cab ghosts.
The cab
That
ghost.
was freaky.
The cab ghost was freaky, but it doesn't scare me as much. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know, man.
I don't need to. I
I,
mean,
I think you do. I think you know full well what you're doing. No, but the first Ghostbusters was lightning in a bottle. I've heard it described that way. That it's a movie that behind the scenes it should not have worked. Like everything was going against them. Nothing made sense. Everything they were trying to do just felt so weird and out of time. But they had the right
and it
people.
almost didn't work.
Yeah, and but they had the right people at the right time. They struck exactly the right nerve, and then luck played a part of it. That's why, like, I know there's been a lot of Ghostbusters things, but like, I don't think anything will ever hit like that original Ghostbusters. I think we'll get things that are good, and we have certainly got things that are good. We'll talk about some of those movies later, but nothing will ever hit that status. That just that feeling that the first Ghostbusters ever felt. Like like until we learn to like take stupid risks and do stupid things for the sake of just doing it. Until we like until like we get to a point in filmmaking again where people could say, I don't think that'll work, and then you do it anyway. Until we get to this point again, like we were in the 80s, I don't think we're ever going to have a movie like Ghostbusters that just hits that certain type of way, you know?
Yeah, probably.
So, but I do firmly believe that like my favorite ghost of all the live action Ghostbusters movie is still the original. And you can't really top that in my mind.
You you can come close, but still not really reach that peak.
Yeah.
Also, the song is catchy as hell.
Who you gonna
There were
call? Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
And then there's everything with the sequel.
I like Ghostbusters too.
So I heard a fun thing about you know how like the start of Ghostbusters 2 feels a little bit haphazard and everything feels just kind of it happens.
Yeah.
So I heard that one idea that went by is they were going to start in the courtroom,
Hmm.
and the movie would have been a more direct, bombastic, like sorry, you actually need us, and then just I don't know how I feel about that possibility. I think it would have drastically changed the movie.
Maybe with some retweaking, it could work.
Yeah,
But with the way the movie is now, I'm just not sure.
yeah. No, it's I think that's about the Ghostbusters 2 is good, but it definitely reeks of like we don't know where to go from here. Like we had a good one and we weren't expecting it to work, but now we have to think of a series. Like you could tell with Ghostbusters 2 that they had like they were trying to set up an overarching story in case there were more movies because it was the 80s and there was probably going to be more movies, which surprisingly there weren't. Like it's not like they had lingering plot details about like characters that like led to the cliffhanger, nothing like that. But you, compared to the first one, it looks like there was a little extra care in establishing a world and like long term effects in that world that could easily lead to other stories. Like like the villain, how they came to be, and like all these little ghostly artifacts and slime, etc. And to the credit of the people who wrote that all that stuff down, it that did last a lot. Actually, I think all Ghostbusters media after that utilized all those things as like sources of the paranormal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's I think like Ghostbusters 2 worked, but maybe just behind the scenes they were now more conscious of what they had to do after or what they might have had to do after. They had to carefully make sure other factors were put in and appease a more general audience, and it made a movie that was good, but not as good as the first one. And
Right. I will concede to that fact. It's not as good as the original, but it's still got some good stuff in it. Like the cast is still very much on their A game.
oh yeah, no, like the writing in Ghostbusters 2 is on point. It's just I feel, and I don't necessarily blame like design by committee. I wouldn't even go so far. It's like I think this was like Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis. I think this was them working with the studio, working with everything, and they had a very strong say of the movie after the success. I think that was them going, "Oh God, this is going to become a thing. We need to broaden our horizons a bit," and they took fewer risks in order to like open the door a bit. Like that's what I feel that was an intentional, and in a weird way, I kind of agree with that decision. I think that for the long term health of the franchise, it is a smart thing to do, but it kind of stifled a few things, and it's basically like let take one step back to potentially take a few steps forward in the future. Kind of like it was a calculated gamble, I guess.
Still waiting for Oscar to become a Ghostbuster.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna see the return of Dark Helmet before we see him become a Ghostbuster.
Dark Helmet?
Talk about Rick Moranis' character, right?
No, I'm talking about Dana's kid.
Oh,
I mean, of course I want to see Louis Tully again, but really, that's all up to Rick.
yeah.
And, well, he has his reasons for why he hasn't been around, and honestly, they're understandable.
Well, he's gonna be in Spaceballs too.
That is true, so
Who
who
knows?
knows?
Who knows? We don't even know if there's gonna be another Ghostbusters movie in the near future. Like that's the series is. Uh,
Kind of at a standstill right now.
yeah, but we'll cut that down in a sec. But after the second one, the series kind of went through a lot of background stuff. Like there was the animated series, there's the comics, there was the Extreme Ghostbusters, there was the unofficial Ghostbusters 3. There was a script for Ghostbusters 3, and at least the start of one, but the movie never got greenlit because Ghostbusters 2 underperformed. And well, eventually that script got reworked to holy hell and became the Ghostbusters video game. We all most of us may have played on like the Switch or PlayStation or whatnot, which is
I played it on the Wii.
wee, but it is a fantastic game. Training the new recruit, going through all these ghostly dimensions, sliming some platforms. Good times to be had by all.
Now I want to play it again.
Do it. You should do it. This is fun times.
But
Remember to cross the streams
uh, mm, I mean, well, uh,
during a boss fight. Yes,
yeah, but there's still that risk of,
it's a calculated risk.
Anyways, we may have not gotten an official Ghostbusters 3, but I will say, if you want to just be entertained for a while, just Google the many attempts at trying to get Ghostbusters 3, because some of them are just wild.
But if we're including the
Actually,
video game, then I do think I like the video game a little bit more than Ghostbusters. Part of that is interactivity, so it's a little unfair, but just as the story is concerned, because similar to the first Ghostbusters, because they were in the Wild West, they could just do kind of whatever they wanted because no one wanted to make the movie. There was a little more bite to it that wasn't quite in the second one. You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
But after that, as far as movies are concerned, Ghostbusters more or less it didn't die, but it took a big hiatus, focusing on like background stuff, lesser things. It was just kind of a franchise that existed in the hearts and minds of the world. No new movies until 2016.
Now hold on. When did Harold Ramis pass away? 2014. That was where some people might think, okay, maybe we shouldn't make a Ghostbusters movie because we can't do it without him. And then they did it anyway with a reboot.
one that I don't have any personal thoughts on. I have not seen it. I have seen what I've seen in the trailer, and the few jokes I've seen in the trailer, I'm not the biggest fan of. Um, but yeah, I know you watched it. Tell us about it, Mr. Griffin.
Okay, let me just cover these bases real quick. The um the actors they got for these roles, I'm sure they're fine people, and I mean zero disrespect to them. But the writing in this movie just does them zero favors. The humor is not Ghostbusters humor. It's more cheesy romantic comedy humor. Probably a hot take, but I don't think Chris Hemsworth works as a comedic actor. I just don't.
What?
I mean, maybe in the Thor movies he can, but I don't think he's trying to be funny in those a lot of the
No,
time.
here's the thing. He works in the Thor movies, like in Thor Ragnarok, because, well, he's not the one trying to be funny. He's the straight man. Like, I know everyone has all these funny lines that we attribute to Thor, like, that's what heroes do. I was like, oh yeah, keep telling yourself that. But in effect, he's just playing kind of a cocky, arrogant dude bro, while also being the straight man to all the weird shit around him. He's not trying to be the comic relief in those, but because he's kind of just this absurd straight man character, he's coming across as just weirdly funny. That's why it works in Thor, but here again, I don't know. Like if he
Like
doesn't work,
like like I said, the writing is terrible.
yeah.
Despite from occasionally getting a crooked grin on my face from something that one character named Holtzman said, not funny, didn't laugh. But 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 that's not even the worst part of this movie. The worst part, and what I think is ultimately the biggest flaw with this movie, at no point did it ever feel scary. Because like
Hmm.
I said, the Ghostbusters movies are comedies, but they also have that feeling of dread to them. Gozer, scary. Vigo, terrifying. Garaka, I mean, just look at him.
I don't
The
even
the,
know what he
the
looks
villain
like.
is the guy from Frozen Empire.
Oh, oh, there you're talking about. Let's see.
He,
I'm
he
looking up.
looks like a freaking he looks like a freaking creepypasta
I'm
monster.
I'm looking up the villain from 2016, and
He's just some dude.
why does he look like the uncle from Casper?
No, I hadn't really watched Casper in a while.
Huh.
Now, I've talked a lot about what I didn't like about the movie, so I figured maybe I'll give some things I did like about it. I will admit the climax of the film with the Ghostbusters fighting off the ghosts with their unique weapons, that was pretty cool. And Slimer taking the Echo 1 for a spin, heh. But as a whole, Ghostbusters 2016 or Ghostbusters Answer the Call, uh,
It just
nobody asked you, Motorcycle Man.
seems like an unfunny remake of the first one.
Yeah. Can we talk about Afterlife now?
Sure, buddy. Let's talk about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Because years after that, people thought like, "Oh God, they're remaking it again." And all the negative press going into it. I was hesitant to see it at first. Even though I saw Stranger Things and the kids, and they had the kid from Stranger Things, he had good looking actors and whatnot. The things that made me hesitant to see it, one was the knowledge, 2016 Ghostbusters, but also Paul Rudd. I like Paul Rudd. I I don't know if I would describe him as like one of the great comedic actors of our generation, like how Disney is convinced he is by putting him in freaking everything. But he is funny. But it's just a matter, like, are we getting Ant Man Paul
Okay.
Rudd, or what? Are we getting Quantumania Paul Rudd?
No, I would say we got Ant-Man, Paul Rudd.
We did, uh, because he knew that he doesn't have to joke all the time. Like I said, sometimes he needs to actually just be an ear, be the adult in the room.
Because like a lot of the performances from Ghostbusters aren't necessarily trying to be funny.
Yeah.
It's just what they say and how they say it that makes it funny.
Now, the other thing, and this is a bit of a spoiler, but it is very important when we talk about Afterlife, is people knew that with the death of Harold Ramis is what they were going to do to address it, because we did know that the other Ghostbusters were going to return, and there was a lot of emphasis before the movie came out that certain characters were related to a Ghostbuster. So that no one knew how they were going to do that, myself included. We were very wary because deep fakes are not a pleasant topic in the world of movies. I I I think there's you can do it sometimes, but it should be sparingly and for the right reason. Fortunately, and this is something that I think, and no shade on Star Wars, like they looked, I don't think they looked awful. People are being dumb, but the big just thing that Star Wars didn't quite understand with their deep fakes, um, that that Ghostbusters Afterlife did, was the deepfake of Harold Ramis didn't talk. He was there for exactly as long as he needed to be, not a second longer. And he didn't, like, they didn't try to do a some extra bullshit with his voice. Look, I know that, like, I know I don't want to call it Star Wars too much. Like the effect I'm really thinking about is oh, what's the old dude on the Death Star? Tarkin.
Tarkin?
Yeah, I don't mind him a deep fake of him. It didn't look bad, but they had to do the talking, and then it's going to create this whole awkward thing where either they're going to like just audio code his other lines and just create new ones with AI some bullshit, or just recode with a new actor, and that's it makes
Well,
the
to be fair,
uncanny.
they haven't.
They haven't. They know they basically did some basically recoded old lines, but no matter how they did it, it would just raise that question. It would just make the already uncanny even more uncanny. So that's why I think deepfakes are usually done few and far between. This was the 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 Harold Ramis, or Spangler, who plays, is the cameo. They made it story necessary. That's the other thing that, like, Star Wars, not just Star Wars, other things didn't do. They made it a story necessity to address what happened to this character, to show what happened to this character and give closure to this character. So to the point where it would be weird if we didn't get something. So when the scene happened, everyone was quiet and everyone like took a breather, and like there was very little to no discourse saying like, man, they ruined his legacy. It's like, no,
They honored his legacy.
they honored his legacy. Like, this is one of those rare instances where it's the deep fake is fine if you do it tastefully. They did it tastefully. They at every step of the way they approved those who were approval of those who were close to him, including his actual family. They did a script that was pulled from Harold Ramis's other works to make it so something he would be proud to be a part of, and they made this very much as a goodbye to Harold Ramis, as well as the start of something new. That's why, like, I think I like Afterlife more than Ghostbusters 2. Like, actually, a lot more than Ghostbusters 2. But not, it's not quite Ghostbusters level, but I do like it more than Ghostbusters 2 because it to me felt like an honest and earnest attempt to bring this franchise to the limelight while still respecting everything that came before it. It from what I can understand from reviews I've read, what you say, this was did everything right that the 2016 did wrong, and how to like restart a franchise.
Yes.
And you mentioned that Ghostbusters needs to be scary. Was the entire sequence in the house at the end not scary enough?
Well, even if it wasn't scary, it still had that sense of dread and
Yeah.
where you feel the threat of the thing that's coming.
Yes. Like there is still, even if it's not just like just directly boo, oh, kind of scary. It has a bit of terror to it. Ghostbusters Afterlife, it's not a perfect movie. I think if you were to remove any one aspect from it, it would probably be the little Stay Puft Marshmallow Goobers. Because I'm sorry, like every time they were on screen, they might as well just been holding up a sign going, "We're a reference, hee hee." Like I just rolled my eyes a bit when every other part of the movie was just like I was fine with. But no, Afterlife I do like a lot. I
I do
will,
too.
yeah. Now, Frozen Empire, I kind of see it on par with two for me. Maybe I like it a little less. It's close though.
Um, I actually can't decide whether I like Frozen Empire over 2 or vice versa. But at the
So
same time, I still think it's really good.
it's good. The problem is like I can see a very obvious flaw in the movie, and I ever since I started doing this and like paying attention to movies in this way, like I'm cognizant of certain things, and I feel with Frozen Empire there, and I've talked to other people, and apparently I am so freaking thankful I'm not the only one to notice this. There is a point in the movie that, like, you had like for the most part, the pacing fantastic, the storyline great. If you're one of those few weirdos on Reddit who is upset that the 11-year-old girls didn't kiss, go touch grass. But there is a point in the movie, and I think it's right before the climax where it's like like basically the climax a little bit before it, where things just kind of happen. It feels like we're building up, and it feels like the movie needed to be longer because things kind of feel like they're wrapping up and just progressing quicker than they should. Like it legitimately feels like there's like 5 to 10 minutes missing from this movie of extra padding and extra time to make it feel more realistic and tense. You know?
See, I'm kind of in the same camp with you because when I first saw this movie, it felt packed. Like some things should have either been condensed or maybe given little more explanation.
Yeah.
On a recent rewatch, it that feeling was kind of lessened. Like I was able to follow it a little better,
Yeah.
but there's still that general. Well, why not do some more with this?
Well, yeah. Again, it's literally just at the end though. Like it's literally just like the last third. It's everything with like the fire starter dude and just how they win, and it feels like they could have done more with the villain. It feels like him mastering that power happened too quickly. It feels like certain things didn't resolve in the way that they should have. It just feels like they built up this problem and built up this problem to establish these characters, and we got this situation, and then just snapped their fingers and it resolved, and it feels off. Like, and for an otherwise very good movie, I just have to point that out as just a. I don't know if that's something on the writing. I don't know if that's something on the editing. I don't know if it's even a direction thing. I don't know where exactly the movie failed, but I think somewhere along the line, some cuts were made or something was done in the writers' room, and things just didn't progress as they probably should have with everything to align itself better with everything else.
I can see where you're coming from.
And this isn't to say it's it's not a bad movie. I like it a lot.
Not at all.
Like the first part of it, and even the this the villain and the idea behind them, I thought was very cool, very reminiscent of the Ghostbusters video game and even like the Ghostbusters show. It's the kind of villains they fought. Like, that's really cool. Um, I like the idea they presented going forward of basically like you had that former Ghostbuster starting a business and just basically being the backer for all of this stuff, so the Ghostbusters can still exist. I thought that was a great way to incorporate that character without having an old one of the old guard overshadow the new cast. Like, I like where the cast ended up. Like it, like how where everyone was. It feels like a natural continuation. You know.
Hmm.
If anything, I'm just kind of sad that certain characters from Afterlife weren't there in this one, but I know logistically it's not like this family can have these other two kids just move with them and their parents be okay with it. But it's been a series of ups and downs. Since then, there hasn't been another Ghostbusters movie. I know Ghostbusters after Frozen Empire's reception was good, but not great. I don't know what that means and how people are going to react to that, especially with everything going on in the theaters right now. I hope there's another Ghostbusters movie. I hope there is. Like, the actor they have for
Um,
the young actors they have are great actors. Again, if you haven't seen Stranger Things yet, go watch Stranger Things. Fantastic series. But
like, is- from what I can tell, there is something going on, but like it's probably just tied up in other studio stuff.
and here's what it could be doing. And here's the thing: if they do a third one, a follow up to Frozen Empire, I don't think there's going to be any cameos except for maybe one, and it's going to be the one character that's kind of been in all of the movies at this point. The I can't think of the character name. You know the
Uh,
guy, the financier in Frozen Empire,
Winston.
Winston. Thank you. Like, if I think if any other Ghostbusters cameo again, it's only going to be Winston. And that's just me going off of like what these last two movies are. Like, I think they're aiming towards a new guard. Like, these are the new Ghostbusters. Like, these people have earned it. And I think that's what they're moving towards. You know.
Yeah. Also, speaking of which, starting with the 2016 movie, or well, actually a little bit before that one, there was a new production company called Ghost Corp, which I think was specifically made to make Ghostbusters movies. How is Ghost Corp not a show by now?
I don't know. There's a lot of like there's a lot of background stuff with that, but who knows?
Mm, that's Hollywood, baby.
But I think with that, we can go ahead and move on to everyone's favorite pastime and do the closing thoughts in the wheel. But yes. Oh, but actually, final thoughts on the Ghostbusters. Like, ranking just the five, not the video game, just like the five live action Ghostbusters movies from least favorite to favorite. How would you rank them?
Uh, well, from favorite to least favorite, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm gonna tentatively say Frozen Empire 2, and at the very bottom, 2016.
I mostly, well, 2016. I'm only gonna put at the bottom as an honor, just because I haven't seen it. I'm going to swap Frozen Empire and two again. That's just because I like me saying like, oh, this is right above 2016 and Frozen Empire is. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that like it's like saying Jurassic Park 3 is my least favorite Jurassic Park movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying I like the other ones that much more.
Hot take, I know.
Yeah, like so when I say that Frozen Empire is like my easy fourth place in the Ghostbusters movie, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that I like how cohesive the all the other movies were a bit more. That's all. But
Right. Um, uh, Aside from, one bad egg, Ghostbusters is still a pretty solid series of films.
oh yeah, it's fun. A whole bunch of video games and shows, and that could be another thing I do one day. Just the Ghostbusters shows, but that's a whole can of worms. But cross that
Yep. a-
bridge when we get there.
Along with the comics. Side note, if you ever get a chance to read the Ghostbusters Transformers comic crossover, please do. It is fantastic.
Maybe I will. Yeah, you gooberous Maximus.
No, you.
Dang it, he know you'd me. Anyway, but I'm going. I think it's time to move to our and here. Thank you for joining me today, Mr. Griffin.
Well, thank you for having me,
Yes,
Mr. Kaiju Kadid.
yes, I am the Kaichu Kadid. But I think it's time we go to our almighty wheel.
The wheel.
Yes, and as you can see on the wheel, I adjusted a few of these. At first, I was going
Like,
to just do something set in stone because the next episode is effectively going to be the Halloween episode. The next episode is going to
well,
be.
like I can't see because Twitch is delayed.
Well, it's okay. I'll spin things. But then, since the next will premiere on the 19th, and I'm gonna try to have it uploaded to YouTube before the usual time, like on Halloween, ideally. But
Excellent.
so the list of topics, like random topics for the Halloween. Initially, again, this was going to be like set in stone. I'm going to do this topic, but it's just like I saw these seven things and like I can make any of these the Halloween episode and be fine with it. So instead of horror anthology, I adjusted this side to the VHS segment tier list, going through all the segments in the VHS movies. Now they're all out, and just which ones are S tier, which ones are god awful, and just using that
Which ones we will never watch again.
and see if we can use that as an objective metric to rate the VHS movies. Like going off of the metric, we decide which one's actually the best, which one's actually the worst. Got it. Um, as opposed to replacing Ghostbusters is who goes there? It's the thing. The idea behind it is to basically briefly talk about the novel Who Goes There, but mostly talk about the three film iterations of one of my favorite movies, The Thing. You have The Thing from Another World, John Carpenter's The Thing, and the 2012 The Thing, which I posit isn't that bad.
I still need to watch the Howard Hawks original.
Yes. And then, of course, we'll have family friendly Halloween. This is things like Halloween Town, Scary Godmother, just general thoughts on just family friendly Halloween, like Goosebumps and the like. Critters.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah, Ernest Scared Stupid. And another thing is Critters. There's four Critters movies. An easy way to. I love the little hairballs. I could talk about them forever. I love the first two. I like the third one, and the fourth one exists. There's the Cloverfield trilogy. Everything is Stukov's fault.
Always.
There's Jaws. Um, I mean, Jaws is gonna. It's been on the wheel since the summer, and then probably gonna be there. And then, of course, there's movie monsters, Scrimblow or Gungi. I'll go into detail if that wins. But and of course, the last thing is the guest decide. So Gryphon, if it lands on there, you get to choose which of those seven will be the Halloween episode.
Okie dokie.
So without further ado, let us spin the wheel. Oh, dang it, you rigged the wheel.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, because the guest decides.
What?
The guest decides.
Uh, uh hmm.
Yeah. This is proof that it's that like no, this is if anything, this is proof that it's not rigged. Because the guest has now decided a fun number of times here. So here, let me
Wait,
go.
didn't this happen last time with me specifically?
Well, you weren't the last one to get the guest decide. I think DJ was, but no.
I,
So your
oh,
options are movie monsters, Scramble or Gungi. Who goes there? It's the thing. The VHS segment tier list. The family friendly Halloween. Critters. The Cloverfield trilogy. Or Jaws.
as tempted as I am to say Jaws just so we can get it over with, if you're gonna make this a Halloween theme, there are two subjects on there that I am completely split between.
Hmm.
So it's time to get out the die. Looks like you're talking about VHS segments.
Oh, we're doing a tier list next time.
Yeah, those are fun.
All right, VHS segment tier list. All right, everyone, you heard it. VHS segment tier list wins the day. Means it's all Griffin's faults.
What?
No, no, I've now watched them all and they're fresh enough in my mind. There's a few I'll rewatch willingly, and there's some I will just like no. But hey, I might ask you to be a part of that one just so you have to watch Coochie Coo.
Just, 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 just don't make me watch that second to last one from Beyond again.
The dog one.
No, never again.
But it wasn't that just a good boy.
No.
No. Next time we're gonna do. Next time, yeah. Next time is the VHS tier list. Fun fact, and it's funny you chose that because I was going to initially make that the Halloween episode anyway, but I just saw the full list. It's like, any of these could do it as a Halloween episode. So that's why I kind of just like left it at a wheel again. So it all worked out in the end.
It's a funny world we live in.
The house always wins. Yes. So remember, there's something strange in the neighborhood and you need some crap opinions about movies. Who are you going to call? The Kino Korner.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Oh.